Hey everybody, I'm Anthony,
I'm John.
and this is the Dynamic Review. Every Friday, we bring you our top 3 comics of the comics that came out this week. But this week we're going to do something a little bit differently. We're going to talk about last week's episode because we didn't really get to have an episode. We were on a much-needed hiatus. But last week, Batman and Robin came out. And this is the 2 comics since Damian Wayne passed away, was murdered. Let's just say he was murdered.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But these 2 comics were really, really intense. I personally liked Batman and Robin, and John really liked Batman. So we're just going to talk about that for a quick second. What do you think about Batman?
I liked it because it was still another issue where they didn't speak a lot of Damian.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought in Harper Row, which kind of was the character to help Batman deal with what happened. And at first he was getting very, very annoyed, but then when you see the end of what happened, it all around was a very, very great story for all this. And it's really, I'm excited for the future of Batman to see where this Harper Row character is going to go. Because, even though it was very, I guess, not really exciting, but interesting to see how the Batman story was going to be after the death of Damian, it was very interesting to see how Harper Row was going to come into this issue at this, time. So it was a very, very good issue and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I really liked it, but my issue with it was, basically, so Batman has gotten more violent since Damian died. There was a point where he would just, he was just beating the crap out of criminals, and then finally Harper Row comes in and she kind of calms him down, and she's there. Well, after, Jason Todd originally died by the Joker's hand, then Batman got into this really violent rage, and he went and started beating up criminals, and then Tim Drake came along and did the exact same thing pretty much, and, used her detective skills and her tech to find Batman and calm him down. So, I liked it, but I just kind of saw this, it's Tim Drake's intro story all over again.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was great. And I liked how it kind of led off of Batman and Robin. It was like the 2 were made for each other. In Batman and Robin, there were no words to it. It was all just image. And it was just kind of Batman recovering and kind of realizing that Robin's gone, and he'd walk up and he'd look at the glass case that has Robin's uniform in it, and kind of sulk, and then he'd go out, and then he was just hunting down criminals. And there was a point where he wasn't sleeping, and my favorite part is Commissioner Gordon, his phone goes off, and he answers it, and then he goes out to the bat signal, and there are just criminals laying everywhere.
Yeah.
And Batman just went on this frenzy where he just went and caught anyone and everyone, and I thought that was really cool.
I actually, with this, I didn't catch on to it that it was only going to be images, so I'm flipping the first couple pages oh, so this is what's going on. So I actually looked through it at first, and then I went back and really took in every single image to really understand, and it was really, really good. There's one part where he goes through Damian's locker, and
and he finds the letter.
Yeah, which is really good. These 2 issues were definitely things you need to check out because it was a big step in the New 52, world of Batman. So.
Yeah, I just imagine this really sad song pulling at that.
Yeah.
What's that new Marvel thing where it's all webcomics?
Yeah.
And they play music in the background. I feel like this one just
Project Gamma.
Dun, dun, dun. It's like Young and the Restless music. You're just like, this sucks.
I was thinking that song, all around you are familiar faces, worn out places. Alright, let's get on to our comic picks of the week.
This week. Not last week, not next week. This week.
And I'll just start off.
You always start off, go ahead.
Yeah. Alright, first one I'd like to start off with is Nightwing 18. This is another Requiem one, and this was a huge issue because if you guys did read Batman Incorporated, Nightwing and Damian had a a big heart-to-heart right before he went and died on us.
Jerk.
But so this is, unlike the other ones, this is a big issue where Dick goes and really thinks about, he visits the graves of Damian, and he he's talking to him, and they take a little break to a little more story in the middle, but then it all comes back to Damian, and I don't know, it's just a really, really good story. You really appreciate the relationship that Damian and him have, especially now that Damian is dead, but I really enjoyed this issue. Big, huge Nightwing fan, so I'm always good when there's a good issue out, but one thing that always bothers me is this new artist. I can't believe they took away Eddie Barros. Yeah. He's now on Teen Titans, and now they got this guy. Oh my gosh, I can't stand his art.
I don't like how I feel like he emphasizes the lip.
Yeah, exactly. That is a huge thing.
It got on my nerves.
Yeah. But all around, it was a good story. Lacks the art, but, there we go. My next one is Deadpool Number 6, and this was the ending of the president's, the president thing that they had going, and I'd just like to say that, this was a very, very good story arc of, Deadpool. I really liked it. It lacked a little bit at the end, but, this issue really, really picked up, and I actually really, really like this one, In this one, you really see kind of a different Deadpool, and, I don't want to spoil anything, but you really, if you read this issue, you will see, something that you just don't see anymore with Deadpool, and the ending is just hilarious. It actually is mocking something that happened really, really big in the Marvel Universe, so it's pretty awesome. Can't wait to see what's next in the Deadpool things, because I am a Deadpool fan, and I do like to read a good Deadpool story, and sometimes them are hard to come across, but yeah, it was very good. And my third one was Saga number 11. Now, I always talk about how great Saga is. We just talked about Brian K. Vaughan in the previous episode, but this is a very, very... Okay, like, at first, when I put this on my list, I was like, yeah, it was an okay issue. And then I looked through it, and I'm like, wow, this was a really, really good episode. Good issue, because you can just... These characters are so surreal in this. You can just feel all the emotion. They're just... every scene, it's like you're actually there, and it just, how everything's building, the past couple issues have been building up just right now, and it was very, very good. Now you can see it's kind of might be like ending maybe towards a break, because I don't think they'll end this. This is a very, very popular comic, but, a lot of things have happened that maybe is going to leave you on the cliffhanger, and I think the last issue before, like, they do this little hiatus is next month, so... I'm pretty excited for it. Love the issue, but, that's all I got to say about it without you guys not, without giving anything away.
Yeah, spoiling it.
Yeah.
All right, my turn?
Yep.
All right, well, my number 3 comic this week will be Red Hood and The Outlaws, number 18. This one was just great. The last issue, number 17, ended with Joker left a trap inside of Red Hood's helmet. When he put it on, it was sprayed with acid, and his face was what we think is destroyed. And so in this, he's in his room, and there's just Bruce kind of sitting there looking at him. He has bandages all across his face, and he's trapped in this like mental mind game with the Joker, or with a nightmare of the Joker. And throughout this, it's just kind of Bruce and Jason trying to make amends and healing. And I don't want to give too much away out of it, because it was definitely a really good issue that I feel like you should read if you are a fan of Batman and Jason. That sounded weird. If you're a fan of Batman and this particular Robin, then I think you'd really like it. But yeah, it's kind of that conversation that we've been waiting for, and every time you feel like you're going to get a Batman and Red Hood conversation, it ends really abruptly with one of them being, a jerk and kind of walking off. But, yeah, I really liked it. I'm really excited to see where the Jason Todd character goes, because I feel like now he's had this anger and hatred lifted from his soul, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this issue I really liked. Nope, not at all. Alright, but yeah, definitely should pick it up. My next pick of this week was Justice League of America, number 18. And this one was just funny.
I really like how they're doing all this. This is really, really... I really like Justice League of America.
Mm-hmm. And it was... They finally brought all the members in to meet each other, and they're sitting at this table. And there's just one scene where they kind of set it up, and you see it's panel by panel, and it's Vibe, and he's sitting there, and Hawkman walks in and throws his mace, and it's covered with blood, and it lands on the table. And then Vibe turns and, "Are you okay?" And then Hawkman responds, "Why wouldn't I be?" And he's like, "You're covered in blood." it's not my blood, and then Vibe goes, and scoots away from him, and it's just really funny. Again, it just reminds you that Vibe's a kid, and I don't know. So overall, it was really funny. It's gonna tap into a little bit of a possible romance between Steve Trevor and Catwoman. So that's something to definitely look forward to. Plus, you have a side story at the very end, kind of like with Justice League and Shazam, and it's kind of explaining the background of the New 52 Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. You're really starting to see in this issue how everybody's character is going to fit into, this team that just seemed like it was completely random and unorthodox. Like, how could they ever work together? But you can kind of see how everything is coming together, how they're going to work together as a team. And I don't know, this is just something different than what you're seeing in the rest of DC. You're just getting all these random characters together, and I think this is going to be a good issue. I think Jeff Johns is going to really take this and, do well with it. So, really excited
and I like
for
how
this.
all the covers so far that I've seen of issues to come out for Justice of America all have Simon Bez on it.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, they state in this comic he's off-world dealing with Wrath of the First Lantern and the Rise of the Third Army, that little combination thing. So he's not there, but he's on all the covers.
Yeah.
And it's just, real people, because you're excited to see how he's going to blend in with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so finally my last pick of this week was Justice League number 18. Now, a friend of ours kind of relayed that this was like Justice League Idol, and they had tryouts, because the Justice League is decided that they're going to expand the league. And they invite people like Gold Rush.
Who made the team?
Huh?
Who made the team? Who did it? Who made the team? One of my favorite characters?
Element Woman?
No. Nightwing.
No, he didn't make the team.
He didn't make the team?
Can I finish
I
this?
didn't read this. Dang it.
Okay, well, since John just spoiled it for everybody, yes, Nightwing was also one of the people that got an invitation, along with Firestorm, I'm trying to think of a couple more. Firestorm, Blue Devil and Black Lightning were also there, and it was just really cool to see a bunch of different characters come in. They're kind of like interviewing them, saying, "Oh, how would you work with this team and everything?" And eventually, Platinum, who is a member of the Metal Men, kind of goes crazy, and they have to fight her. But yeah, never mind. Basically, read it, find out what happens, find out who makes it, who doesn't. This is definitely a really interesting storyline to see on how the Justice League will expand and get ready for the upcoming Trinity War, which I'm extremely excited about.
Still waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, they just, at the end of this issue, they declared that it's Road to the Trinity War.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, definitely excited to see this happen. And, I don't know, this was a really good issue. There was no cliffhanger, but it left me, I can't wait for the next issue to unroll what's next.
Another thing that was in, I think it was in at the end of all DC Comics, is they showed the Action Comics preview to number 19. Mm-hmm. Was that in the Justice League?
Yes.
That looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait.
I was really surprised they put it at the end of everything. I guess they kind of been doing that. They did it with Constantine last week, and now I guess they're doing previews now, which kind of takes away from maybe some story that could be on the pages, but I liked it. It looked really, really awesome. So, that's a comic that we're going to be looking forward to next week. So, yeah.
Well, time for ratings, right?
Yep.
All right, John, go for it.
Okay. I started all out with Nightwing 18, and I'm just going to give that a 4 out of 5. Good story, but, of course, lacks the art. Deadpool Number 6, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. This is a good ending of the story. Tony Moore's art in this, I forgot to mention that. Tony Moore, Cincinnati born man, where we are from. He was, his art is amazing. This of Deadpool's, he does have this close up of Deadpool's face. It was amazing, and it's a good ending story, like I said. And I just, I really like this. So, and then it's gonna leave me with Saga number 11, and it's gonna be another 5 out of 5. I'm just throwing out 5s, and this is just a really, really good story. Yeah, I love Saga, so this is actually, the arts, everything about this is amazing, and, I'm always excited for the next one. Mm-hmm. So here you go.
Alright, well, this week for Red Hood and the Outlaws number 18, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Really liked the art. Really liked the ending. Wasn't so keen with the in the mind battle, but it's one of those where it's kind of it's linking gaps so that more things can happen in the future. Next would be Justice League of America, which I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. Like the story, like the art, just wasn't a 5 out of 5 though. Then there's Justice League, and that was a 5 out of 5. Without a doubt.
I gotta read this one.
Yeah, it was just really good. And then the surprise character at the very, very end is a featured person that everyone knows the name, but it's the different person. Same superhero, different person.
They do like a Spider-Man switch?
You'll read and find out.
DC's doing their version of it?
No.
I'll see. I'm gonna read this right when we get out of here, but another thing I'd like to mention is we talked about in the news episode was Brian K. Vaughan's Private Eye, the comic they released on the internet. I downloaded it and read it, and it's just a lot different. The art is very well done. The story, you can tell it's gonna get better. This was on the verge of being in my top 3, but it was a good story. It's a good opening story, and you can tell the next issue you're gonna see a lot more, and it could pop up on our list. But definitely go check that out. Check it out on his website. Very good comic, and it's worth checking out. So. Alright,
and I guess that's it. But just to let you guys know, tomorrow, Saturday, March 23rd, I will be at the Gem City Comic Con over by Wright State University at the Nutter Center. In the description below, we'll leave you a link to their website along with directions if you guys want to come, hang out with us, meet us there, walk around a little bit. It's not a super big Comic-Con, but it's definitely going to be a fun time. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. And
that's it.
That's the Dynamic Review. Alright, well, see you guys on Tuesday for the Dynamic Buzz. See you guys on Wednesday for the Dynamic Dead. And then see you guys next Friday for the next Dynamic Review. Like we say, go visit us at www.thedynamicbuzz.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Subscribe with us on YouTube. Do all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, well, later y'all.
Later.